I'm doing this video shortly after the shooting death of Christina Grimmie. So I know that a lot of people might be watching this and they're emotionally touched by it. It's a very sad situation, definitely a tragedy. Someone who seemed to be bringing a lot of joy to people. She's a popular singer on YouTube. I just actually found out about her this morning. If I had ever seen her before, uh, I don't remember it, and the name wasn't familiar. Basically, because I see so many things on YouTube. I've been on here for about 10 years, and I can't possibly remember everything. But having said that, it stands out right now because of the huge tragedy that it is. And for those of her many fans, I just want to say there's just a lot of sadness when we lose somebody. But my purpose as a human being is to try to understand these things better and not to get dragged down into excessive sadness. So possibly if you're seeing this later on, that's great. You can think about it in terms of a wider perspective of all of history. And one of the things that I do is I use astrology to look for clues. The celestial orbs move around, and it can explain to us why a person might come to this fatal ending. There's a lineup of planets that are putting stress onto the individual, and it's based on when they're born and they come to a point in their life when forces outside of ourselves come together, and that's what's called fate. So basically, if you want to hear more about that, I have the astrology channel that I do. Some people don't believe in it because they're superstitious or they have a religious restriction against it. So that's unfortunate because you cannot explore it as I do. I have a very accurate take on it. So maybe if you're open-minded enough, you can check that out. But I wanted to say a little bit about Christina Grimmie that I found out, just so you know that I collected all the facts together. And maybe that's why you're here, because you're also curious as to how this event could have happened. It's a news event, and it's tragic, and it is sad. So I always feel a sadness, especially for somebody that I don't see as being a bad force in the world, somebody who's evil. Sometimes when a person like that dies, I don't really care. I'm saying like, oh, that's good. But in her case, she's a singer, and I want to put in for the record that I see her channel. I looked at her YouTube channel. She has popular videos. She has a few of them with multiple millions of views. I think the biggest one at this point was over 17 million views, and it was a collaboration. Looks like a few other YouTubers were in it because they do a music video, and it's a cover tune. She has over 3 million subscribers, so she's pretty big. She definitely gained some success and popularity as far as that goes. Being that I have spent so much time since the beginning of YouTube trying to understand this phenomenon, I look at the numbers, I look at the stats, I try to make some sense of it, to understand the culture that we're in, to understand how people do social networking, how they choose what their interests are, what they like and what they dislike. So to me, it's all a learning process. I try to take a neutral standpoint. She seems to be popular. She seems to have a demographic that she covers. Her age is, I think, is 22, if not 21. I'm not sure. Wait, no, I should know that. Her birth date is March 12th, 1994. So she just turned 22 before the spring. So that was almost a little more than 3 months ago, or exactly 3 months ago. And mm, the details of her death, though, that's what we're really looking at. What happened was she was doing a concert. I don't know if she was the headline or what was the music act involving, but it was last night on Friday, and it was in Orlando at the, I think it's called the Plaza Live Theater or the Plaza Theater. So it's a major venue in Orlando, Florida. After the concert was performed, in other words, after she went off the stage, she was signing autographs somewhere around the theater. So I don't know if it was outdoors or inside. I don't know the specifics on that. What happened was, with her brother present, I think his name is Mark, correct me if I'm wrong, and other people around, I think it was a group setting. Uh, as she was signing the autographs, the individual came up who I do not know their name. I haven't seen it anywhere publicized this morning, but the shooter came up and and I do believe it's a male, he shot her. And I don't know the extent of how many shots were fired. I do not know the specific details. But what I do read is that he was carrying multiple weapons. He had a total of 2 guns at least, and he had some kind of a knife, a hunting knife. So, what the police say in the reports is that he was apparently targeting her. That's what they suspect. Well, I would say that's almost like a no-brainer, because a guy carrying around weapons ending up there, I don't think it's random. And I don't think it's just that a person just goes off, flies off the handle and starts killing people in the streets. Um, is not going to all of a sudden just kill a well-known singer who gets out of a concert. That doesn't randomly happen. So it's pretty obvious to me that this was premeditated. Uh, and if the person just targets the object of their obsession, waits till after the concert, to find an opening. She didn't have enough security, possibly. Um, I don't know how it would have happened. You'd ask, like, wow, like, doesn't this person have, like, bodyguards? Well, like I said, her brother was there, so um, the witness accounts say that the brother tackled to disarm or to restrain the shooter. And then what happened in the midst of that is that the shooter killed themselves. So it's a murder-suicide case, apparently. That's what it seems like to me from what I read. And this is what I'm piecing together this morning. Why am I doing this? Being that you ask, well, what do I have to do with somebody? It's just that I'm curious because I'm on YouTube and we read the news, and I'm regurgitating it, but I'm also giving you more. I'm saying that from a spiritual level, to become more aware of things. We get sad, and then we need to know why. You know, my basic question would be like, here's a person that doesn't seem like they really did anything evil in the world. How could they generate an enemy like this and then get killed at such a young age? Uh, did they do something wrong to deserve this? So my questions are in this thinking process of trying to find out more. Like, is this fair? No, life is not really fair. Doesn't seem like that when you focus on the problems. But what it seems like to me is that it must be karma. You got to look at it from karma. And like I said before, with the astrology charts, it can give you some hidden insight if you study it. Obviously, there's reason. Obviously, there's karma. She wanted attention. She did get your attention. She's a star. She sings for your enjoyment, for your entertainment value. Okay? Then she attracts somebody who must have some past life connection with her. Has to. This is the way we look at things when we become spiritually aware. And there's a price to be paid a lot of times. I'll have more to say on the astrology video, but thanks for watching, and rest in peace, Christina Grimmie, and for all her fans and loved ones, family, friends. My consolations to you, because the dead move on, and don't grieve for them, but I know there's grieving for yourselves because it's your loss, and in some shape and form I do grieve with everybody, because death is just haunting this planet. It can happen in so many unpredictable ways. So all I can say, my greatest advice is love and respect whenever you can, because you never know when your last meeting with somebody can be. And on top of that, make sure you pray all the time. Today is the Shabbat, and in some ways I shouldn't even be doing this video. I should be worshiping the One, the Creator, the boss, the Maker, the Lord. And that is what I'm doing. I hope that I haven't gone outside of that, but I think that my way of presenting things leads you to want to obey and worship God, if you want to call it that. God, I don't, because I know God has a name. And today is when I have to be doing that, so I'm going to go back to directly worshiping and praising the One. And I think that Christina Grimmie did a lot of cover tunes of religious songs. I saw, and I didn't listen to it yet, but she covered Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah. And I also did have the pleasure of watching her video when she did Silent Night. That's a classic religious Christian song, and I really appreciated that. So I think now that she's released from her physical body, her life has ended, I think that she's finding out more, because I believe in life after death. It goes on, and I believe in a new life after death. So she's going on with more spiritual awareness of everything that is the truth in this God's universe that we have. The God created universe. God, Goddess, whatever you want to call it. Elohim, Yahweh, Jehovah. Thanks for watching, everybody.